All right, we're gonna go through on the exterior. There's a 21 GMC Sierra. It's a 2500 SLE. This is the 6.6 gas. It does have like an off-road package for the shocks and stuff, kind of like the Z71. Oh, here you go, X31. Tires are newer. They are dated for 2022. Tread depth did max out my gauge, so that's really cool. Nice fresh tires. As far as paint, pretty good shape. You'll see like these scratches all around these handles, some on the cab corners here, pretty much all the way around. Some light scrapes here on the trim, just some scratches, no real dings, just a lot of little light scratches. Some more here, just up in there. And then you can see here, let that focus, more scratches there. Just real light. You could probably buff and cut a lot of that out, get a good guy. They did do a wax, so you come to this spot here like this, see where they touch the plastic with the wax. A little bit of stuff there, so it has been waxed at some point, but a good buff and cut and then a good wax will really get rid of a lot of that. This is a pretty deep one, but just scratches and stuff. No real dings, no dents. It's not beat up. Looking pretty good. All right, so we're gonna go through the engine bay here. Just talk about a couple things, because these fans get pretty loud. Overall fluids are in really good shape. Oil level I could not get a reading of. Does have a message on the dash that it's time for an oil change, but typically you shouldn't be low enough to not read on the stick. I've got a 6 liter, not a 6.6, and about 260,000 miles, and I don't even check the oil between oil changes. She never low. She don't leak. She's a rare one, but this doesn't have any leaks, so cause of a little bit of concern. I don't know how far over, or if he just resets it. It's very weird. I can't even see if the oil's dark or anything. So airbox is bolted shut, so we don't pull those up. You're gonna see little rodent prints here. I didn't see any wires chewed or any kind of fraying or anything. It does have some stuff here for the airbag system, but fluids are all in really good shape. So I'm gonna set this down here and I'm gonna do a quick startup, and then I'll come right back to you. Just bear with the camera. So starts up nice, no weird sounds or anything, so that's a plus. I would probably just do like a shorter oil change and kind of gauge how that's going. These aren't really known for burn off or anything like that. The 6.6 is kind of newer, but it's not having the same problems that the 6.2 was having. There is a light on for the washer fluid as well as the oil change. Now, one thing I've always noticed, if you run out of washer fluid, you for sure are over on the oil change. I don't know why. I've been in the industry long enough to know when a car has the oil change overdue light on, the washer fluid always empty. So they always go hand in hand, unless you live way up in the north and you're getting sprayed by semi trucks all the time. This one ain't that far north. So overall, plenty of get up and go, drives smooth. This doesn't have a stick for the transmission. It is something that is a service only, so it's down below, most likely bolted on the side of the case, and then they just check it out a level surface. A lot of them have like a measurement stick that goes in, and then you check the temperature of the fluid at the time, and then you base that measurement with that. So a little trickier these days. Coolant flowing nicely, really good there. Drives good. I don't see really any concerns. The oil level is my biggest worry in this engine bay area, but we're going to keep moving forward here. All right, we're going to use this mirror to look underneath here. I always like to start from the front to the back. Now, as you can see, everything's pretty well coated with the wax coat. The exhaust being really showing the rust is because of how hot and cold that gets all the time. That's pretty normal to see. nothing that worries me, or nothing flaking. I don't see any areas where the welds or anything are cracking or peeling. I don't see the gaskets flaking out at the joint components. It's just where the, you know, the less alloy, more steel components, like a mild steel, that's like you see a little bit on the axles, on the ends here, stuff like that. It's gonna show that surface scale rust, but it's nothing that's worrisome. So looking back, I always like to make sure nothing's hanging, something dragging, or anything that's shiny will tell me if there's something that's been touching, leaking, anything like that. I'm gonna go to each corner and just touch base on things. All right, so these are gonna be oil pan, trans pan. You can see caps on both sides here, and then your torsion bars. All look really good, nice clean, nice dry. See that crossover pipe, and transfer case here. You did have a note that this looked like a newer driveline. It's not. They have these aluminum drivelines that they've been doing since like 2008 or something like that and up. Sorry, for the one piece. If you get a two-piece driveline, it's steel, very different. But the one piece, they always look like this. 100,000 miles from now, it'll still look like this. They just don't rust or show any kind of surface. There's a little black spot because this thing has been undertreated on top of the factory one. You can kind of see, like on the shock, how it's black up there where they sprayed over it. It's not bad. The wax doesn't last long on these trucks anyways, so it's kind of nice it's already been treated. Here's your fuel tank, leaf spring perches, frame and everything look good. And we'll go straight from the back. So I always like to go along these frame rails. They do have this cable securing that spare, so make sure you ask him about that, if he's got some way to unlock it or what the deal is with that. Nothing like not being able to get that out when you need it. Some more, you can see that shock, how it's painted black instead of the red from the Z71 pack. Diff's nice and dry though. Looks good. And on both sides here. Stock exhaust. Brakes, everything look really good under here. We're gonna go to the side. On the passenger side here, still got the big old barrel muffler. It's so funny how they do these. It's literally like a 50-gallon barrel. They just put a muffler in. Driveline looks really good. I don't see any concerns there or anything like that. That looks good there. And we'll hit this last corner. So, other side, you see more of that overspray on the pan there. And your cats, torsion bars all look really good. Alright, here we are starting at the steering wheel. It is heated wheel, cruise control. You do have radio controls and volume radio controls, phone and voice commands, and then menu for up here. It did have messages for the like oil change, 0. That's too long. Who knows how long that's been 0? You'll see in the engine bay portion the oil was off the stick. I usually say about 20-15% is when you want to start getting that oil change or getting her in sooner once you see that. Air filter is bolted in, but it looks like it's measured here, says 60%. Brakes also look really good. And then your engine hours. And one more. Average here, 9.6. They're known to get stuff done, not free time. Screen here has basic amenities. Does have this is going to be turn-by-turn through OnStar, but it does have like Apple Android Auto and Apple CarPlay and all that stuff, which will take over, so you don't have to worry about that. Auto climate control with both sides, and back and butt heated seats. And then it does have a button to release tailgate, downhill cruise, and traction control. There is no tow haul mode. Some of these newer trucks that will just automatically engage that system, there is a low option, but you have to manually shift when you're in the low option. Mileage is at 32,039 at our time of service. And then along here, center console does fold up into a seat. And then there is a lockable storage bin here. And then stepping out, door cards are in really good shape. It's not a power folding mirror, but they do have the manual push out. A little bit of scuffs down here. WeatherTech mats are pretty dirty, but they're doing their job. The carpet underneath looks pretty decent. Same story as back here. Seat back's in great shape. Headliner also really clean, no sunroof. Storage bins back here. The gray is really nice. The leather seats always end up cracking there and then ripping open, so it's really nice. Power seat only on that driver's side. Walking up on the passenger side here, so door card's also really good shape. On this side, he does have some stuff for the hitch and jack and a plug-in for probably the block warmer. Charging ports there. And then this side, door card's in really good shape as well. Manual seat on this side. Glove box is good. This is kind of messed up. You can hear it like pop and some tape inside there. And it's kind of hard to close. It has like a spot that stops and then it clips past. It's not supposed to do that. But there was like here, like this white, it's like you textured some of it on the column there too. But I don't smell like cigarette smoke or anything, so I'm not sure what that is, but it did draw my eyes. We're gonna stop here. Call this the trunk, rear hatch, truck bed. It does have camera and light back here. It is just a button to open, and then the topper kind of holds it. It is dampered, so I'll show you again. Just let it go, just falls softly. Has a fifth wheel plate in here. It does not have like a gooseneck down below. It's just a plate here for the gooseneck, or the fifth wheel, I'm so sorry. And then it does have the plug-in here for the bed. And it's been raining all day and it's nice and dry in here, so looks like this topper is doing what it's supposed to. You'll see a little bit of wetness. I did have this open earlier, so sorry about that. Shuts really easily. Stop there. All right, we're gonna go through our code scans real quick. So we always start by just scanning the entire vehicle. We do have some codes that popped all history. In the park brake module, there was the ABS pump had lost communication, low voltage, and the steering angle had an uneven bias. I made sure to document the number and what the code said completely. Auxiliaries, another low voltage, and then on the steering column, it was a similar where the module had lost communication. So it all probably kind of stacked in the same moment for this event. The trailer brake was noted on one of them. It did do a test during the drive where it said it passed, so it's nice to have that note. Right here, we always make sure that this VIN is what's on the vehicle door card as well. And then we're going to go through our modules for the readiness and just see how those all reset. All right, we'll get this to focus here. Maybe in my hand. There we go. Green checks across the board here. It's really good. Gray circles just means it's either something that they have redundancies of, or it's just not monitored because of the other system's data. Like I said, green checks is all good. We do a 10-mile plus drive to make sure all these get reset, and if any of them are going to trip or not or pass, they should have done so. Moving on from here. All right, we're just going to go through a few things on this. Basically just wrapping it up. I always like to try to make the truck look really alive for this. I love the cab lights. I wish I had that on mine. All right, so 6.6 gas. These I have heard a lot of people talk good about. Haven't heard a lot of bad. They've got plenty of get. I got some guys that do some pretty serious towing, and they stand by these 6.6 gas. Obviously, it's not the same as a diesel. You're going to be less efficient, but you're still going to be able to do it. All right. This truck does have a gooseneck attached, or a fifth wheel plate in there. It does have an undercoat that's been applied over the top of the factory one. Factory ones are all wax, so that kind of makes me feel good. Like my truck, all that stuff's gone, and the surface rust is just getting crazy on the frame components, and I need to get it redone. The long bed with the extended cab, so it's like the short door. They don't do like the suicide anymore. This is kind of like base plus all the options for towing and everything. It's really cool. It does have this camera up here for the rear view mirror. It does have a power release for the tailgate. The cover works really good. As far as your concerns, this does have, like, when you go to get going, you'll notice like that first shift is a little bit jerky. Now what that is you have like a low start for load, right? And basically it's just to make sure your engagement is good. If you were fully loaded on this, that's how you want it to be, and it's a lot more noticeable when you're not loaded because there's no weight to hold that, you know what I mean? So you're just feeling the truck kind of get up and go all of a sudden instead of pull. I don't know, it's weird to explain. I love the lights and the fenders and everything like that. LEDs all work good. The oil level, I will say it was off the stick. Now it is at 0%. Who knows how long it's been at 0%. There is no visual leaks. Oil filter's dry, drain plug dry, pan is dry. Front cover looks pretty good. In the engine bay you'll see paw prints, but I didn't see any chewed up areas or anything like that. And then I did touch base on it on the lower underside of this inspection, but the driveline, they always look like that. It's just the material used, not necessarily been replaced. Like I was saying at one point, my truck has 260,000 miles on it. It's 2015, and that driveline looks exactly like that. So when you have the two-piece, you get a steel, and that's when they would be all black with a carrier. Roof and everything's in good shape. I love having the steps. You'll come to grow on you. Tires in great shape. Drives good. Gets up to speed well. Quiet. No real vibrations. It's not trying to pull me off the road. Pretty good inspection.